A new update dropped for Star Wars Jedi Survivor. It will launch a bit later on PC. It's not that big, but it does include some interesting fixes and changes that I want to highlight. Plus I want to look at some really cool outfits that you can rock on PC with mods. So a ton to go over. Let's start with some big progression fixes that were implemented. The elevator needed to progress in the Lucra Hulk section of Kobo could be gone for some people, so they could not get higher up. Joyce actually had this as well, but luckily after already finishing the main story part of this section, and Reddit user Packers got creative and did find a way to progress without the elevator. But yeah, now after installing the patch, you won't need these parkour skills anymore to continue the main story if you also got stuck here. There was also a bug for the elevator that was in this area where people would just die after taking it. Now, all the elevator issues should now be addressed in this section. They also fixed an issue in the Stone Spires region on Kobo where the third vent wasn't working, so people could not use the flying creature to get to the other side, so also not progress the main story. Some people were stuck inside a meditation chamber, so the first one as part of the main quest or some others also addressed. And they actually added something new. First, if you would try to use BD1's special tools during combat, so hit down on the D-pad if you were playing with a controller, it would not work. But if you do it now after the update, you will see this pop-up saying unavailable in combat, so you know you cannot use it here. So of course smart to use it before combat to have the droids fight for you if you got the slice upgrade. So we went more in depth on that and way more secret things that you probably did not know in our previous video. I will leave a link to it in the video description. There was also an audio issue addressed for a narrative moment where music was behaving incorrectly. But more interesting is the fact that they fixed that lightsaber marks were not displayed correctly in some scenarios. Well, not really some. Like I tried this before the update and only the sprint attack from the dual wield stance was shown for me, but when using like regular attacks for lightsabers, I did not see anything. Tried different walls, nothing. Kind of taking you out of the experience. But I'm happy to report that now after the update, it seems to work really great on rock walls, on walls from buildings. Like you now see all the lightsaber marks. I think it's a great fix. They also fixed a PS5 specific issue where the HDR value would mismatch, so the HDR setups would display incorrectly. In short, it did not look great. Really black sometimes, as we see in footage here from Gaming Tech. And once again, I am happy to report that it does seem to be improved from my limited testing. Of course, it's not ideal to show it with captured footage, like totally try it for yourself, but from what I've seen, the overall colors look way more natural now. You especially see it on Coruscant that first looked extremely dark, but now a bit better. So I'm liking what I'm seeing. Curious to hear your experience, of course, let me know in the comments. And I'm also curious if you notice any performance improvements. I did not notice a lot myself in the time with the update so far, and even encountered some brand new bugs that I did not have before, so I hope it did not make things worse. Now to be fair, the patch notes did not mention any performance improvements for console specifically, but you would still hope that every update brings it closer to what you should expect at the launch of a game. Way more stuff to go over. If you liked the video so far, by the way, totally leave a like, it would really help me out, and subscribe for way more spoiler-free Jedi Survivor videos like this. Let's first touch on an interesting discovery by Digital Foundry regarding the performance, namely that the frame rate mostly takes a nosedive in ray trace heavy areas. So that is when it has a hard time reaching, let alone maintaining the 60 target. And I think you would agree, and most games do this as well, right? They don't have ray tracing in the performance mode for this reason. So it seems that if we get an option to turn it off, the performance on console will improve. Because if I want a better image quality with the reflections from ray tracing, I will play on the quality mode. If I choose performance, I want the highest possible frame rate. And then I also bought the PC version of the game where you can turn off ray tracing in the options menu, and it's actually insane how much more stable my performance was after doing that. Hitting a way higher constant frame rate. It's a really nice trade-off that I wish we could make on console in the future as well, so I hope Respawn looks at that. And for PC, they're also updating ray tracing behavior and the data handling when toggling ray tracing, improving the non-ray traced performance. So it should be even better after the update, although again, that patch will launch a bit later than the console patch. So you should see it in the coming days after this video goes live. They also share some upcoming PC fixes they've planned for future updates. You see them right here, and I will also leave a link to the full patch notes if you want to read them in the video description. There is like a mid-game boss spoiler though in the patch notes, so you are warned. I will touch on that fix because it's pretty interesting as well a little later, but I will give you a spoiler warning. First, I want to share another reason why I got the PC version. So apart from being able to test the performance, I also did it to show you some of the awesome mods people over at Nexus Mods have been creating, with one of my favorites totally being the metal outfits and the helmets inspired by the bounty hunters that we can of course kill in the game. The cosmetics in Jedi Survivor are totally a huge step up from Fallen Order, but it also feels like a half step in a way, because it would have been cool if we got some headgear. Like, where is that? It was actually something they were experimenting with in Fallen Order as the concept art revealed. So yeah, I think they could have done a better job with outfits in the sequel, and that's why I really love the PC mod from Super Snell that changes 4 hairstyles to helmets and also changes the color of some outfits to give them this awesome metal look. Now, not really a surprise, but my favorite helmets are the crazy red ones, especially this one. And there's also a mod that makes the full commander outfit completely red. Yeah, my favorite color is red, so I love this style a lot. It just feels good to rock the blaster stance with these bounty hunter cosmetics that I hope they add for console players as well. But there are also a lot of blacked out outfit options for the commander outfit, but also for other cosmetics in the game. Torsky Ron created the Darth Malgus saber that Cal can use. Really awesome. Like, I do like some of the base game sabers, but not all of them stand out as much as this one. Super Snell also made a mod for the High Republic robe that Dagon of course wears in the base game, but now Cal can wear it. Like, it would be amazing if they added this as like an official outfit for console players as well. I'm like curious if there are any DLC plans, or if with New Game Plus at launch it means that apart from the fixes they're just going to focus on the deferred game immediately. Maybe you already saw it in the video, but yes, you can also dress up as Darth Maul with one of the PC mods, and I think it looks surprisingly well made. Now of course you will still sound like Cal, so it's kind of weird during cutscenes, but while exploring, I think it's actually quite fun, especially if you like to rock the dual-bladed lightsabers, of course. Now, in the same vein, but a bit more strange, is the one from Disasterstorm that lets you play as Merrin. It once again looks surprisingly great. Sure, the combat is kind of weird, and again you will hear Cal talk, but it's especially cool for pictures, like having Merrin use a blaster or pet the creatures on Kobo. And on Jedi it feels like you're playing a co-op game where both players pick Merrin, because yes, then 2 versions will be running around taking care of enemies. It's a weird vibe, but I also would not mind a co-op game made by this team. We now also can see how Merrin looks with red hair, and I gotta say, it's not bad. I'm leaving links to the PC mods that I touch on in the video description, and on that website you can also see how you can install them. Now, going back to the update real quick, because there's a fix for a mid-game boss, so of course I will do a spoiler warning and totally skip ahead if you haven't been to the moon for a second time. The timestamps are in the video bar, so you can easily fast forward to our picture showcase, of course, where we highlight some of the best pictures. Okay, you're still here. Well, there was this bug that happened every time you would kill Ravis, but also die at the same time. So that you would basically trade, only you would still have to do the fight again, which already sucked. But the issue was before this update that Ravis would then also be unkillable. Like, his health bar could hit 0, but then he would just negate any damage and not die, so you could not continue the main story. So now after a week, it has finally been fixed with the current patch that again will launch a bit later after this video on PC. Subscribe of course for way more Jedi Survivor videos if you haven't already, and if you got any cool pictures, send them our way via the hashtag JorRaptor on Twitter or by going to the dedicated picture channel on our Discord. Link to that will be in the pinned comment, because then you could be highlighted in the next Jedi news and update video. Joyce, a photo mod expert here on the channel, you selected some of the best shots, so take it away.
Yes, that's right. Thanks, Jor, and thank you all for sending them. First up, we've got Ray Station over on Twitter, where Cal is concentrating on his force powers, which creates this awesome effect around his head and body. Love the use of the frame here, so it adds to the effect. Up next is Brobion Kenobi over on Discord with this awesome extreme close-up shot with Cal while holding his blue lightsaber. The sharpness of this shot is just mesmerizing, including the shine in his eyes. Even a logo in the upper left corner fits perfectly. It was a very close call between these two, but for my favorite one, I do have to go with this epic action shot of Dorian PK, perfectly timed finisher of a droid, his head being cut off by Cal's saber. The scraping effects make this screenshot even more exciting to look at. Great picture overall. Thanks again for sharing these with us. Of course, if you have any cool ones, send them our way and maybe you are in the next Jedi Survivor news or update video. Subscribe to not miss anything on the game if you haven't already, and check out our previous video on some secret tricks you wish you knew earlier by clicking on the screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!